Thank you very much for my nice introduction. First of all, I'm thankful to the International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy for having this topic of what needs to be done to make homeopathy number one medicine in the world. It's a very nice topic to speak on, and thanks for inviting me for that. Um, First of all, I will let you know that I bring to the table 45 years of homeopathy clinical and teaching experience, as well as working with large healthcare boards in Ontario, with more than 10 solid years of governance and leadership in homeopathy and the healthcare professions field. Of course, I'm been a member of the College of Homeopaths of Ontario since its inception in 2009, and have served as a council member, vice president, and president for almost 4 terms, during which we established the foundation and infrastructure of college during the transitional period and achieved the Proclamation of Homeopathy Act in April 2015. Um, Simultaneously, I was active internationally, being the VP Canada of Liga Medicorum Homeopathica Internationalis, which added my skills of the global presence of homeopathy. Um, as you're aware that homeopathy was regulated in Canada from 1869 to 1960. It was regulated under Ontario Medical Act, establishing a single unified college of physicians and surgeons of Ontario as the examining board for all medical practitioners. Now, this act united the three separate examining board, that is eclectic, allopathic, and homeopathic systems. Homeopaths were represented of Council of College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario until the year 1934, when the number was reduced to one homeopath. And meanwhile, there were two homeopathic hospitals in Canada, one in Montreal and one in Toronto. However, due to lack of homeopathic educational institution in Canada and the impact of external report, the regulated homeopathy profession, both in Canada and US, could not survive. The homeopathy took popularity again in the late 90s, and by 2006, the process of regulation of homeopathy in a different format of Regulated Health Professions Act started due to great community demand. The regulation of homeopathy in Ontario was quite unique. The most in the most that homeopathy medical practices around the world are part of the medical profession and include a variety of control acts. But homeopathy in Ontario has none of these control acts. This, I believe, was done primarily because homeopathy in Ontario from the years 1969 to 2015 was practiced by individuals from diverse backgrounds, having different level of education. Some practitioners were self-educated, some came from schools in Ontario, which taught part-time programs, and others who came from jurisdictions where one had to be trained medically in order to practice homeopathy. Given the diversity of educational backgrounds and the school systems in place in Ontario, there was no other option than to define the practice by competencies on the PLAR model. The PLAR model is Prior Learning Assessment Recognition Tool. Given more time, educational institutions would have beefed up their curricula and incorporated the idea of control acts of homeopathy in initial submission to HPRAC, but that was not done, so we don't have any control acts. Imagine a healthcare profession working as a standalone profession with no control acts, which you cannot use doctor's title, not communicate diagnosis to your patients. How did it impact the patient experience, by which there cannot be integration with the main healthcare practitioners in Ontario. To deal with this situation, we have signed an MOU with India with an idea to conduct bridge courses for our diverse homeopathy community for attaining the equivalency with DHMS level education, which is still under consideration. Coming to the main topic of discussion, what needs to be done to make homeopathy number one medicine in the world? First of all, we need to get SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? That is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So we have to do SWOT analysis of the homeopathic profession around the world. Once we get its strengths and weaknesses, we need to develop a strategic strategic plan is very important with goals and objectives to be implemented by nodal and global body. There must be a collaborative effort to work together with Liga Medicorum Homeopathica Internationalis, and European Council of Homeopathy for raising the bar on standard of homeopathic education in each country for equivalence of qualification of self-educated or less insufficiently educated homeopaths by the accreditation bodies. Such work cannot be done by homeopaths alone, and help of skilled board of directors and the CEO, that is chief executive officer, would be required to implement the goals like a base mode as done by the modern healthcare practitioners. So homeopaths are lacking in this to have a vision uh, and goals and objectives which can only be looked after by by adopting a business model with a governance structure. However, a great deal of work needs to be done for reviewing the educational framework of homeopathy across the globe. Recently, Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, Ministry of Ayush, New Delhi have published a paper in this regard, and it gives a vivid view of a variable standard of education for entry to practice homeopathy in various countries of the world. So my suggestions are that homeopathy, which is currently practiced in various countries with different level of education, like medical doctors, naturopaths, veterinary doctors, pharmacists, including homeopaths, need to qualify a common examination for getting the title of homeopathic physician. We need to disseminate our research done so far to the entire homeopathic community and incorporate the research in our teaching institutions. Having said that, we need to unite both at country level and at world level, and follow the tools used by the World Medical Association, who run the organization on governance model. We can bring this agenda to Liga Medicorum Homeopathica Internationalis, who functions like World Medical Association. The homeopaths will then be starting to be recognized by the main stream healthcare physicians and surgeons, bringing homeopathy number one system of medicine in the world. Thank you very much.
Rose?
I end here. Yeah. Any
Rose?
questions? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dr. Bhavinder Sharma. Now, the second panelist is our doctor from India, Dr. Shivang Swaminarayanan, and who is honorary physician to His Excellency Governor of the State of Gujarat in India. Dr. Shivang is a researcher, clinician, and a former member of Central Council of Research in Homeopathy, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. He has been a member of various advisory panels and task forces of government, professional bodies, educational forums, and Indian overseas delegations, apart from having corporate engagements in India. And I invite Dr. Shivang Swaminarayanan as our panelist, second panelist, to discuss on the topic, what needs to be done to bring homeopathy to the number one medicine position in the world, so that this medicine will become beneficial to humanity at large. Over to you, Dr. Shivang.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shaji. Sorry for small hiccups at my end, because I just received the this thing, and I don't think that I'm able to configure my presentation with the current Zoom, which I have just joined. But in that case, to save the time, what I'll do that if I'm able to share my presentation in between, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll just go impromptu. And
you can share your presentation, doctor.
No, the thing is that since I've just received the the login ID, I'm not able to connect my the Microsoft account to this one. There's something hitch. Anyway, let me just try while I'm trying to start my views and my the ideas what I have. Will I be able to share? Okay, share the screen. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Uh, the thing is that while we are talking that we want to achieve a certain goal or a kind of be yardstick, a milestone, I think we need to have a perspective that who are our competitors, how they are behaving, what is our background, our history, what is their history vis-a-vis, because we are talking of global leadership. So we have to start somewhere. Within the global leadership, we have to identify that which country or which association or which uh, forum is strong enough to become our engine. Unless we have a strong leadership, any good plan we may have, any good suggestions that we may have, may not ultimately culminate into its proper execution and the end result. So my talk is more of a, I would say that maybe strategy or the concept, at a macro level. Micro level, many of us are doing day in, day out. Every country is doing their bit, whatever is possible within their regulatory framework, within the framework of the community, and many other things. So when we are talking of global leadership, what we need to think upon, or kind of we need to stress upon, is anything when we are talking of at the world level. Uh, these are the 5, 6 parameters that count a lot. One is economic strength and power. Who's talking? Whether it's kind of be the US is talking or kind of be third world countries talking, makes a difference. So economic strength and the power is a must. Whatsoever forum that may be talking or leading homeopathy, or whichever country may be leading homeopathy to take it to the pinnacle. Second thing is technological edge. Anything and everything today need to have a technological edge. Today, we are from kind of different parts of the globe. We are together on this forum. How is it possible? Because of the technology. Otherwise, to plan a conference of a global stretcher, it's a big task. It would involve maybe millions of US dollar to plan such thing. So many resources are required. But technology has made it so simple for all of us to come to this fora and discuss dialogue. So technology has the cutting edge, whether it's medicine, homeopathy, or any other sector in the world. So the technological edge is again important. And homeopathy, I'm glad that everyone knows that we have integrated the technology in our practice through the repertory, these different software repertories that are making our practice so simple. That is a clinical part. But in every sector of homeopathy, the technology has to take a lead role. Third is knowledge. Knowledge is power. 21st century is a knowledge century. And if we are able to incremental knowledge would give us a definite edge over others. And we know that our competitors, especially the modern medicine, whether it is the pharmaceutical or the clinical side or the surgical side or the diagnostics, they have the kind of be the larger pie of the knowledge power currently today, so as to say. Third thing is global competitiveness. When we are global and when we want to have a global leadership, we need to know that what is the global competitiveness that we are having, whether it's economic kind of competitiveness, whether it is technological competitiveness, whether it is the policy competitiveness. So much of the competitiveness that is required, unless we have that idea that what is the competitiveness that we are lacking or we are having, I think our goal and the roadmap will not be strengthened enough to take us forward. Next is negotiating power. When we are talking of technology, knowledge, economic strength, if we don't have the negotiating power in the global scenario, we'll be failing miserably. In the international forum of whether it is World Health Organization or United Nations or any and every, whether it is the World Bank, IMF, you talk the forum of international kind of be stretcher, and if you don't have the negotiating power with the other countries, again, whatsoever goods plan, whatsoever other competencies that we may have, but we may not be able to negotiate across the table on the world forum to put our point accepted by the global leaders and the countries. And last not but the least is political leadership, because unless the political leader take these agendas on the global level, on the global fora, I'm not very much hopeful that only the professional bodies and the professionals can take up successfully this Herculean task. Let us take the scenario of India from where I hail from. In 1992, India's share of global trade was below 1%. That is less than that of Nigeria. And today, in 21st century, 2021, India has become the world's 5th largest economy last year. So that's the big leap that India has taken. So I know that in one of the conversation with one of the bureaucrat some time back, while we were discussing, he was a Indian foreign trade on the mission, and at United Nations he had he was representing India, and he talked that in early 1990s, even representing India at United Nations, the voice was not heard. They were not given enough chance to talk. And today, the scenario has changed because of lots of things. India has grown and multiplied in various sectors. It has become a economic power from a developing nation or underdeveloped nation. Today, India is kind of be about to cross that the Lakshman Rekha of being a developed nation. So that gives us a competitiveness. And he says that today, what India talks, people listen carefully and people look forward to India, what India has to say about it. Whether it is going to be global peace or health issues, because even India is representing our health minister, current health minister is the chairman of the one of the important WHO forum where India's voice matters. And we know today that the vaccination program, India has taken a big leap. And so what my emphasis is, the political leadership, the economic leadership makes things smoother to put our point and put our kind of agendas to the world forum and the global leaders. I would like to put all traditional medicines under the banner of ancient medicine and vis-a-vis the modern medicine. So let's put homeopathy also in the basket of ancient medicine among more than 150 different types of medicinal systems or complementary and alternative systems, which is kind of being termed globally. and the market size of these ancient systems of medicine today is close to $60 billion. If we want to see that how this market is again divided in the global scenario, then the Asian market share is merely 18%. European Union put together is 45% of this ancient medicine, the $60 billion market. North America is 11%, and Japan, a small country, is having a market share of 16%, which is equivalent to the whole of Asia. So we need to know that where we need to put our eggs in which basket to get the larger share. Fortunately, the European market, where homeopathy comes from, and the majority of European countries, they have, once upon a time, they had accepted homeopathy very largely, or even today, many of the European Union countries, they are the existence of homeopathy is there. The share and the market size could be different. The regulations may be different, but this short analysis can give us our roadmap to be decided for the future. And the forecast is that the global market for herbal products, which is largely what I could term it as an ancient medicine, is expected to be $5 trillion by 2050. This was the projection that was given in 2015. But the current scenario, the scenario of COVID, has probably changed the scenario because larger number of the population in many countries is leaning towards the herbal alternatives and the traditional medicines, including homeopathy. And I'm seeing that maybe this $5 trillion market, which is expected to be achieving that target by 2050, that could be achieved a decade earlier by 2040. But we need to have a robust planning, strategies, and the larger roadmap and the global strategies to be put forward by our professional leaders, by our political leaders, by our industry leaders, and by our academicians and researchers. After India, I would like to touch upon China, which is the kind of the globe's largest population. And the Premier Jinping and much of the China's leadership, they are promoting traditional Chinese medicine. And that's one of the several ways of raising millions out of poverty. This is their strategy. And the earlier premier in late 1960s, in their what we have in India and majority of countries, they have their 5-year planning. And by the 5-year plannings, they every 5 year they have the projection for next 5 years. So in late 60s, the premier of China then had given a roadmap, a projection of 30 years for traditional Chinese medicine to become a force, not only in China, but also in the global scenario. And that we are seeing now. When I was working and I was living in African countries, in the Central Africa and East Africa, in mid 90s and late 90s, I could see many Chinese practitioners in African countries practicing them. They didn't know the language, the local language when they came in. The locals didn't know the Chinese language. The health authorities were not knowing the Chinese traditional medicine, but somehow those traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, they were there in the African countries. They started practitioners practicing Chinese medicine, and during those times, the key practice was to improve immunity among the HIV patients, because we all know that the 90s were the kind of the era wherein the African countries was the it was like a volcano of HIV/AIDS patients, and the immunity was the trademark of traditional medicine. With the USP, they came there, and today we are seeing that they are exporting their medicines worth millions and billions of dollars. And by the end of 2020, China's State Council expected the total value of country's traditional Chinese medicine industry to reach 420 billion. This is not the size of current even homeopathic market size, the global market size. This is the China's traditional medicine market of only China that I'm highlighting here. So we need to know that who are our competitors, where they are, and how much miles that we have to cover, and what strategies will bring us to reach those milestones and cross those milestones for us. Again, dwelling upon the traditional Chinese sector that accounted for about 57 billion US dollars in 2019, that equals to 20% of the total Chinese pharma market.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yeah.
Each panelist have 10 minutes each. So I appreciate
Thank you very much for the time given. And we can take yesterday only I had told that I can talk for hours together.
No.
And I was not given the idea that there are panelists. That was unfortunate part, that I was not given any intimation that what is the time frame that I have to talk. We can take it anytime later. Thank you very much for the
yeah, you can wind up by taking 2 more minutes, because what you are saying is very interesting, but just
interesting, but I may not be able to conclude. But let me just kind of conclude with only one slide.
Yeah,
and that is that we need to know that why we want to become global leader. What are our strengths vis-a-vis our competitors? How do we kind of make our path? And this is a kind of a pictorial thing which I would like every one of you to ponder upon while kind of thinking that we want to become a global leader. And this roadmap probably will lead us to make a strategy for ourselves and become world leader. But that's not a kind of I would say that maybe a time frame of 5 years or 10 years. This would require minimum 30 to 40 years to achieve step by step. And we need to make our goals and the milestones visible and make our strategies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You came out with a very important, nice presentation, and very nicely and neatly and beautifully made. Appreciate for that. And definitely I will call you back, Dr. Saminaran, to give a detailed version of this. We need to know these things. And definitely you will be called back in our session for detailed presentation. Now we have another very important panelist from Bangladesh, Dr. Jahangir. M. Jahangir, who is having a BHMS degree and along with the MPhil and PhD, who is the chairman of Ideal Research and Science Lab, Bangladesh, and also ex-principal of Swarupkadi Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Firozpur. Training, and he has undergone training courses in good manufacturing practices by Drug Administration Department, Bangladesh, and World Health Organization in 2005, office management and financial training course from BIAM Foundation in 2014, teaching methodology and assessment from Center of Medical Education Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2015, and author of Homeopathic Treatment Procedure, Case Taking Treatment and Management, published in 1999, Medicine Power, Reproved Homeopathic Medicine, Petroleum in 1992, and Machine Inventor, Homeopathic Potentizing Machine, Ion Automatic Potentizer, exhibited in the 11th International Homeopathic Congress 2000 of Asian Homeopathic Medical League. And as a scientist, invented a medicine from fungus, Pleurotus ostratus, for the treatment of arsenic-induced cancer. And as I may published many research papers, I invited Dr. Jahangir from Bangladesh to present as a panelist his viewpoints regarding what needs to be done to make homeopathy #1 in the world. Over to you, Dr. Jahangir.
Thank you, Dr. Shaji Kudiat. You have given a big introduction on me. And as you said, I am ex-principal of one of the college in Bangladesh. But still now I am working for the government health ministry. We have here alternative medicine care under DG Health. Here we are. Here, AMC is giving some project on homeopathy. They are already previously we have done our pharmacopoeia under Bangladesh government. And this year also we are doing fourth part of this pharmacopoeia and treatment guideline, also doing the fourth part of treatment guideline for the Bangladesh. Now, I want to proceed on our topic that what needs to be done to make homeopathy #1 medicine in the world. It is very nice topic indeed, and only not nice, but it is also an important topic for homeopathy for this time and also for the future. I think we have to do some little works that we have to work on homeopathy or homeopathic practice, homeopathic medicine, everything which is including homeopathy, everything have to work better. If we can work better, that it will be a milestone for our homeopathy. Then what we do, we have to make a research on this. Second is that we have to do research. And it is said that no system can be developed without research. If we do not do any research on our work, or single work, or our single doctors, every work, even a single case, we have, if we can do research on that single case, and we proceed to this research to know to everyone as IFPH, in the platform of IFPH. If we say our researches in IFPH or any other journal or webinar, then homeopathy can develop, homeopathy can proceed to the future gorgeously. And this proceeding can illustrated by publication. This is the time for information technology. We have to publicate our product, that is our researches, our case takings, our patients' recovery result. We have seen that in this time, from last year to now, COVID-19 is all over the world, but not for India, but all other countries of the world. We cannot treat this patient without Ministry of Health permission. In Bangladesh, we have tried to get permission for treating COVID-19, but our ministry has not given us the permission. But singly in our chamber, we have also treated COVID-19. We all homeopaths know that COVID-19 is not a dangerous disease. In homeopathy, this COVID-19 patients can be recovered within 4 to 7 days without any complication. But in allopathy, you have seen they have given antibiotics, steroids. These medicines reduces the immune system of the immunity of the patient. And further, we have seen black fungus disease grown in the patient due to weak immunity. And this immunity done by antibiotic and steroids. But the patients usually they are willingly going to the allopathic doctors and treating by allopathy. Why this is possible? Because they are publishing, allopathy is publishing their practices. Whether that is not a good practice, but they are doing that. They are taking millions rupees. They are lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees from a patient, but they cannot give so better result from this COVID-19 treatment. But still, WHO is saying there is no, but they are giving treatment. In this time, we have a good platform like WHO. We can treat these patients worldwide. As we know, our IFPH is growing. I think Shaji could know better. I think it is IFPH is not more than 1 year, but if we try better, offer better, then IFPH can grow up to a like WHO. When we take this IFPH as a big organization, we can do everything from this panel. World's people will give us their support to treat by homeopathy. And lastly, we have a correlation between of our homeopathy. We have to make our correlation. If we take our correlation, we share our knowledges between us, and we can publish in a journal our recorded, our papers, then homeopathy will proceed to the future. Thank you, and all of you.